joy a puppy can bring to your life.
My interest in animals started when I was very young. I was lucky to be surrounded by all the animals under the sun on my family's small working farm, and experienced working sheepdogs, terriers, labradors and cats amongst many pets of my own. I studied for a degree in zoology and found my passion for behaviour, so I went on to study applied animal behaviour and welfare. I then worked as a behaviourist with rescue dogs, hearing dogs for deaf people, and now I work specifically with owners trying to help them resolve their pets' problems. I'm heavily involved with training and advising puppy owners. As a behaviourist, I would always recommend that owners experiencing problems with their pets should visit their vet as a first step, as many behaviour problems are actually caused by an underlying medical problem. If your dog gets the all clear, you'll be referred to an accredited behaviourist who will help you through the problem.
Like people, all dogs have different personalities, and no one is exactly the same. For this reason, owners of new puppies or dogs will have to take time to get to know them, to build trust, and to discover what actually motivates them. You should try to find out what your dog was originally bred to do. This will give you clues as to what your dog will be good at and some of the problems that might occur in the future. If your puppy was originally a working dog, you'll need to decide if you can provide the stimulation and attention he'll require. It is a common misconception that clever breeds will need less training, so think carefully when choosing a puppy. Owners who have little space or time often choose small terriers as companions, and they can face difficulties such as excess barking, predatory behaviour, or dealing with very confident personalities. Even these types of dogs require training from an early age. Be honest with yourself about your own situation and choose a breed to match your lifestyle. If you already have a dog, finding out about the breed's characteristics will help you think of ways to motivate him whilst you're training. Understanding why your dog does a particular behaviour will help you prevent problems from developing. Preferences for male or female dogs is obviously a personal one. You need to carefully consider the dogs already present in your home or family and think ahead as to whether or not you'll be prepared to neuter your pet. Male dogs are often larger and stronger than females. Behaviourally, they differ in specific ways. Male dogs are more likely to scent mark, to roam away from home, to show territorial behaviour, and are more prone to try to be top dog. Female behaviour can change with age and with fluctuations of their hormone levels. Appreciating these differences can really help you in your approach to training. Whatever breed or sex of dog you choose, it's vital that you remember that your new companion is canine, no matter how clever he seems. Many people fall into the bad habit of treating their puppy like a baby, and of course, this causes many problems. By understanding about canine behaviour and pack structure, you can get the most from your puppy. When you bring your puppy home, don't forget that everything is new to him, and this can be very unsettling. This is often the first time he's been away from his mother, his siblings, and his first home. You'll need to create a routine that will allow your puppy to settle in and get used to his new home. Although the urge to play with him is overwhelming, it's important to remember that he needs calm time to help him get to know his surroundings and his new family, all in his own time. By allowing your new puppy time to take everything in, you will avoid creating any extra anxiety which may lead to unwanted behaviours. Now's the time to decide on the house rules and really stick to them. Do you want him up on the sofa? It's probably not a problem when he's a cute little puppy, but what about when he's fully grown? It's important that everyone in the family knows the house rules and are consistent in the way they enforce them. The earlier you introduce rules, the easier it will be for your dog to understand what is expected from him. As a puppy owner, you will often hear about certain terms such as socialization and habituation. But what do these mean? Socialization is a process where your dog learns to interact and cope with people, dogs, and other animals. Habituation is where your puppy familiarises with objects, places, and sounds. Both these processes are often grouped together. Puppies start learning about their world at a very early age. As soon as they can move about, they are taking in information about their environment. As their eyes open and they become more mobile, they start to familiarise with objects, sounds, and people. Socialising your puppy properly lays down the foundation for the way he'll behave for the rest of his life. So it's important to get it right from the start. Up to about 9 weeks of age, puppies are extra sensitive to learning about new events. So it's very important to choose a breeder who's had plenty of time to handle the puppy and to expose him to household events and new people. Once your puppy has come home and had a chance to settle, you should begin socializing in earnest. People believe they can't take their puppy out until it's had its vaccinations. But if you carry your puppy, it can meet new people and known vaccinated dogs and experience the sights and sounds of the outdoor world. Take your puppy on short car journeys and stop by to see friends and family. All new experiences must be positive for your puppy, so take your time and never force him to do something he is unsure about. Even if you've had another dog at home, you'll still need to introduce puppy to others so he can learn to cope well and doesn't simply become attached to one individual. After all, it's easier for him to interact in his own language rather than having to learn yours. If you do own another dog, please ensure that your puppy spends more time with you than it does with the other dog. Otherwise, your puppy is likely to become more focused on your first dog and less interested in you for social interactions and training. No matter how well your pup seems to be coping, try not to overwhelm him with too many events at once. Stop whilst he's still having fun and keen to be involved, and leave the rest until tomorrow. Overwhelming your puppy can be as bad as not socialising him in the first place. Take care not to put him in a situation where he might be scared, but also try to avoid overprotecting him. It's a difficult balance to strike, but it will be well worth it in the long run. If he's at all nervous, don't force your puppy on other people. Allow him to approach them himself in his own time. It can be quite intimidating for your puppy to be approached by a big hulking human. So to make him feel more at ease, get down on his level, hold your hands loosely open, avoid eye contact and allow him to approach in his own time. Don't completely avoid a situation you feel he's nervous of, but do approach it with care and make it a rewarding experience. Dogs learn by experience. They try out activities and then repeat those that were most rewarding. Rewards can come in many different forms, and individual dogs, just like people, have different things that motivate them. Any interaction between yourself and your puppy can be seen as you encouraging a particular behaviour. These include speaking to your puppy, laughing at him, looking at him, touching him. Even raising your voice to your puppy can cause problems as he craves your attention. Ignoring unwanted behaviour works best for most things. This can be difficult, but in the long term this is the best option for reducing most problems. Obviously, there is more to training your puppy than just ignoring him. It's important to build your own confidence and your puppy's by mixing the things that you're good at with those things that need practice. Don't just ignore them and hope they will improve. It won't work. Remember, your dog learns from experience and practice, and without it, he's likely to be hopeless. You will need to practice too. Keep training sessions short so that you don't lose your pup's concentration. Encourage the behaviours you like and ignore those you don't. Your puppy has to try to learn our language. For this reason, we need to be clear, simple and consistent so he has a chance to learn what we mean. Choose words that are easy to say and are easily distinguished. Remember that your puppy will be easily confused with any inconsistencies, such as different words for the same command. Dogs do most of their communicating using various body postures, so you can imagine that they are very sensitive to our movements. It is important to be aware of your posture when working with your puppy. Imagine how domineering it must be for a pup to be leaned over by a huge human. It could really put him off approaching you, or could make him too nervous to focus on his training. Since our body position constantly conveys information to our pups, it's a great idea to use hand signals and movements in our training. When it comes to training, toilet training should be at the very top of your list. Toilet training does take a lot of time and patience on your behalf. You really need to put the effort in right from the start and be consistent. As with children, puppies can take varied times to become completely dry. If at all possible, take your puppy out when you first get home and allow him to eliminate. This way, the first association has already been made before you bring your puppy indoors. Puppies need to eliminate regularly. Generally, take him out when he wakes, after any excitement, after eating, and every hour in between. As you get to know your pup, his routine will become second nature to you. You should always wait with your puppy till he does his business, which could take 5 to 10 minutes. And don't distract or play with him until he's finished. Always praise him afterwards. Pick a word such as "be quick" and say it just as your puppy starts to eliminate. This will become a cue word to encourage him to eliminate in the future. If your puppy doesn't eliminate when you're outside, bring him back in and keep him with you, or in a safe place such as your puppy crate. After a short time, perhaps 15 minutes, take him outside again and repeat this process until your puppy eliminates in the desired place. Never punish your dog for eliminating in the wrong place. He won't understand and may want to avoid relieving himself in front of you again, including outside. If you punish your puppy for eliminating indoors, he'll start to feel anxious, and this will hinder your progress. He'll begin to sneak away to relieve himself in private. This will just make the whole process more difficult for you, as your dog will learn to go in the wrong place. Small puppies have a strong instinct not to eliminate where they sleep. So you can take advantage of this by putting him in his crate and by taking him out at regular intervals. This way you can avoid the majority of accidents. If you notice your pup starting to go indoors, give a short, sharp, loud shout, just enough to make him stop what he's doing for a second, then pick him up and rush him out to the chosen spot. Give your verbal command, wait till he's finished, then praise him. With any new dog comes lots of new items, and it can be very confusing for owners when it comes to what equipment is actually needed for training. Often owners will buy lots of training equipment in an attempt to improve their dog's obedience. However, if you're having problems, it is better to seek professional advice about what items are most suited to your dog and its problems. Choose equipment that is safe and comfortable for your dog and for yourself. You'll need a selection of toys for your puppy to keep him occupied. Soft toys are great for your puppy's soft mouth. Those with lots of limbs, squeakers and different textures will be interesting. Some toys will be chewed on while pups are teething. A rope is also good for tugging or throwing in the park or backyard. Most dogs love a ball to play with, but a ball on a rope can be more easily moved around to keep your puppy focused. They're also very useful when teaching retrieve games. Here's a selection of activity toys. These types of toys are important as they keep your puppy busy. Start off by putting some of your pup's food in the toy, which he then has to roll around to get the treats out. There's a whole range of sizes available depending on the size of your dog, but don't forget, as your dog grows, he'll need larger ones to prevent him choking on them. Toys like this are ideal for teething pups, and they'll keep your puppy occupied when you leave him alone. Having these available means he's less likely to chew on the wrong things. The action of chewing on these toys actually helps keep his teeth clean too. Your puppy will need a range of treats to keep him interested. Small pea-sized treats are best, but if your puppy's tiny, you can always break them into smaller pieces. Some treats are very large, but your puppy won't need a whole one, so it's best to break it up into smaller pieces for your training. After all, you don't want your puppy to be too full too soon. Harder treats are better in an activity toy or for leaving out when you leave your puppy alone. For big treats like this, again break them down. For more sensitive puppies or those that need more motivation, tiny pieces of broken up meat will work well. On the whole, lots of variation is a good idea to keep your puppy enthusiastic. It's a good idea to keep the best treats for the hardest commands. As far as leads go, the right choice depends on the size of your puppy. For a first lead, you need something nice and soft that's not going to be upsetting for your dog. It should be reasonably long and should clip on easily. For training purposes, you might want to have a very long lead. This will allow you to build up your confidence at the park, as your puppy won't be able to wander too far. With puppy collars, always choose something nice and soft. To make sure it fits properly, you want to be able to fit 2 fingers in comfortably, but do remember to adjust it as your puppy grows. You should start brushing your puppy immediately to get him used to it, so when you do go to the groomers, it's not such a big deal. For a first brush, pick one with nice soft bristles while he gets used to the sensation. Waste bags are essential and no owner should leave home without them. Keep them in your pocket at all times. Let's face it, everyone needs some quiet time when they can relax knowing their pet is safe. An ideal option for many dogs is the use of a puppy pen or a dog cage. Crates are useful for a variety of reasons. Sometimes your puppy needs time away from excited children or another dog, and a dog crate can help you teach your puppy how to settle. The crate can be invaluable in teaching your puppy how to cope with being left alone, and vitally, it prevents him from developing bad habits like stealing, chewing, or toileting behind your sofa. Some people only think of cages as places of punishment, but in fact, for a dog, they act as their own den. A safe, secure place they can call home. Set up the cage as a nice, comfy sleeping area. By adding a few of his favourite toys, he'll soon relax and think of it as his own little castle. Do be careful that your puppy is not left for too long in the crate. They are useful, but can be misused. Crates are not there to allow you to spend long times doing your own thing whilst ignoring your puppy. They are simply a very useful tool that can help make things easier. Set up your crate and leave it open for him to explore. Place a familiar item or piece of bedding from the breeder in the crate to encourage your puppy to spend time there. Put your pup into the crate and sit by it. If you move away immediately, he'll want to follow you and will get agitated. Gradually build up the time and move away slowly. Avoid at all costs keeping your puppy in the crate for so long that he's forced to eliminate on his bed. This habit will make it very hard for you to house train your puppy later. If you have a large crate, or you'll not always be around to allow your puppy out to eliminate, then create a bed area at one end and a toilet area as far away as possible at the other. Some crates allow you to have 2 different sections for this purpose. You might find that puppy starts barking when he's left in the crate. Do not react immediately, as this will only teach your puppy that barking is a good way of getting you to come back. Wait until he's quiet, then respond, but only if you believe the noises were his way of telling you he needs to go out. Once pup has learned how to behave around the house, you can start to reduce the need for the crate. Many people keep it set up with the door open and find that their dog loves this area as it provides a nice secure den.
Now, one puppy behaviour that causes owners lots of concern is play biting or mouthing. This normally happens when they greet you or get excited. Unless you deal with this early on, it can develop into a serious problem. All puppies go through this stage, although some breeds are more mouthy than others. It's a natural puppy action. It's important to teach your pup how to interact in a safe and gentle way. Make sure you don't react aggressively towards your pup if he mouths you. Stay relaxed. Your behaviour has a strong influence over your pup's reactions. As soon as you feel his teeth or see him biting on clothing, you should stop playing. Most mouthing is your pup's attempt to get a reaction from you, so he must learn that this isn't the way to get it. Close your fists to protect your fingers and fold your arms. Turn away from your pup so he doesn't get any attention from you. When he stops, calmly tell him he's a good boy. If he continues to try to mouth you, then a loud "ouch" works well to stop him in his tracks. Then gently encourage him to play with his own toys. Remember that puppies simply don't know about our rules. Mouthing is natural between canines. Teach him to play with his own toys by encouraging and praising him. He'll then be more likely to choose this game when he gets excited. If you're consistent, then your puppy will mouth you less and less. Try not to get frustrated. Putting your puppy in his kennel for a few minutes is better than getting angry, which could make him anxious and his biting will become more frantic and painful. Always supervise your pup around children and use a training leash if you need to have better control of his movements. Never play rough games with him or encourage him to bite clothing or hands. By encouraging him to play with his toys and by denying him attention when he treats you like a big interactive toy, your pup will learn to play in a way that you both can enjoy.
There's a whole range of suitable toys for all types of dogs available from your local pet store. Your new puppy is constantly absorbing information about the world around him. This means that he's learning how to behave as an adult, even at this early stage. This is why you must allocate time to your puppy's training now. As soon as your vet agrees, your puppy can join a puppy class and begin the process of learning commands while continuing socialization. The ideal puppy class will have plenty of space, a low number of puppies of about the same age, and will involve only controlled puppy play. A good class will help you develop your handling skills, as it's not just your puppy that's learning new things. This is your puppy's first experience of training, so the methods should be positive and fun for all involved. Teaching your puppy to sit is easy. You don't have to force him. But getting him to do it if he's distracted can be tricky. By using a treat, you can lure your puppy into position, and by teaching him a hand signal at the same time, you'll have two ways of asking your puppy to sit. Start with a small treat near your pup's nose, and slowly move it backwards so pup's head tips back. You'll see his bottom naturally going down. Release the treat as soon as your pup's bottom touches the ground. And always remember to praise him. If you practice enough, your puppy will begin to recognise your hand movement and go into position. He'll like doing this as he's been rewarded well and there's been no force. When your pup starts to respond well to the hand signal, you can add in your command word, sit, just as your pup responds. Try not to start the habit of repeating your command. If your pup jumps up to the treat, your hand may be a little high. Lower it and keep it steady. With enough practice, your puppy will start to respond to very small hand signals. Practice in nice quiet places first, and then move to new rooms, friends' homes, and out on walks. Teaching a down command without forcing your pup will keep him happy and relaxed during training. There's no need to push or pull to get this position. Start with your pup in a sit position. Take a treat and move it from your pup's nose directly down between his front paws. Hold it still.